Hello and welcome to that Peter Crouch podcast with me, Peter Crouch. I'm so close to saying the notorious SIDs with being and Chris Stark, but he's not, is he?
No, he's missing. He's missing still. Yeah, he's going to be absent for this podcast. Obviously, he was away for last Friday's one. He's not going to be here again. It's not a kind of reaction to anything. It's just the way the timing's worked.
Yeah, it's just the way things have worked out.
But it's all good. Listen, I want to kick this off with, firstly, just to quickly talk about the Rod Stewart podcast that came out last week.
Yeah.
It's gone down an absolute storm.
It certainly has.
No surprise, really, because Rod Stewart was on great form. I don't know if you'd agree with this, Crouchy. When we were sat with him, there was so much good football chat. There was so much good stuff about his career and everything. I didn't really realise what stuff was kind of exclusives and what wasn't at the time. And we've not got into a bit of trouble, but we're sort of bordering on it, because it seems we've accidentally announced that Ronnie Wood will be performing in Glastonbury.
I saw that, right? I saw that, like, it was a Glastonbury fan page, but I looked at the page and it had like 100,000, so it's obviously a well-respected Glastonbury page. And they said announcement, Ronnie Wood's playing with Rod Stewart, and it said via the Peter Crouch pod. I thought, oh, fuck.
Well, I saw that and then I thought, but he didn't announce it. It was a really odd one. The problem is we're so incompetent in this sort of world of media that none of us or our team picked up on the time that he basically said, and I'll bring Woody along.
I just assumed,
none of us thought that was Ronnie Wood.
I just assumed that he was, like, that had already been out there. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just don't think he doesn't do a lot of things. And I think, obviously, thanks so much to do our podcast. Like, I think he did it for us, and I think he was I just don't think he's had the opportunity to tell anyone. Do you know what I mean? That's going to happen.
But I'll tell you what, Rod Stewart's Glastonbury set, it sounds phenomenal, doesn't it?
Well,
the Legends stage, or Legends slot, sorry, it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's going to be something else.
That'll be special, and like, what a great fella he was as well. And, it was a pleasure to go to his house and record.
We should say that. Yeah, thank you so much for hosting us. It was phenomenal. If you haven't heard it yet, give it a listen to the Rod Stewart podcast. Just a quick message, Crouchy, before we get into today's theme. It's from Ben, who's messaged us saying, hey Chris, it's Crouchy, hope you're well. Quick one about the band, just to update you. Thought you might like to know. We've been booked to open up a music festival, but there's been uproar about the band name Me Thrice.
Oh, Me Thrice.
Do you remember Me Thrice from earlier,
Brilliant.
like a few podcasts ago? I mean, a few months ago now. The backstory here is we use the phrase three of the buggers quite a lot.
Three of the buggers.
A band then formed, called themselves Me Thrice.
Yeah, amazing.
They've run into difficulties, it seems.
Have they really?
Afraid so.
No way. Why is that?
So they've been booked for their first ever music festival, but it says, Ben goes on to say, they've made us change our name to BMT.
BMT?
Yeah, which
like
he
BTS.
says makes
like
them
BTS,
sound
the Korean...
the Cornish BTS. BMT.
BMT stands for Me Thrice.
He just says, what are your thoughts? Should we hold our grounds regarding your family?
No, get on the stage, because you never know. You never know. Things could happen for them. I don't want the name to hold them back as good as the name is.
Yeah. Just a quick reminder, if you've never heard Me Thrice and you're new to this podcast, here's a little clip they sent us of them in action a while ago.
I'm Ben. I need to say Ben. I'm Ben. This is Jim. This is Jared. We are known as Me Thrice, also known as Three of the Buggers. We're going to sing a few songs tonight. This is a buggers.
They sort of do weddings and pubs.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic,
well, good luck, lads. BMT. I mean, they're first sort of rung on the ladder, I guess, in what is hopefully a long musical career.
Yeah.
Maybe one day matching Rods.
Yeah, without doubt. Good luck to BMT or Me Thrice. So no SIDS today. What I'd like to do is concentrate on a few things that we're kind of going into the off-season now. And what has tickled us quite a lot in recent times is, and obviously I'm, fully involved in this as well, because I've done the odd advert, but footballers-in-adverts.
Yeah.
It's one of the best things. There's so many great things that come out of the adverts, but obviously the initial one is it's my clone of the Dubai tourism.
Well, yeah, this is what we thought we would do. We would just slowly go through some of our favourite footballing adverts, because what this episode's going to be today is basically the same as our WhatsApp group that we have on the podcast. And lately, as Crouchy says, there has been a bit of a growing trend of us just putting these adverts in. There is a shout, and I think this is a good one, for us to maybe go and recreate some of the world's most famous football adverts.
Yeah.
Ideally with the players that were involved at the time.
Yeah, great shout actually.
Touch.
Do you know what I watched recently? I watched it when I was looking at this. Was the Carlsberg ad for the best Sunday League football team? Do you remember that one?
Oh my God! Didn't you show us this one not too long ago? Was this the one where they were in the showers and everything?
Yeah, no, this is. So we got the Premier League one.
Yeah,
where we've got the original Premier League one where we had David Seaman in the garden, Vinnie Jones in the shower. I think it was Paul Stewart and Tony Daly. It was a fantastic advert that for Sky. Whole new ball game. That one. But there was another one, Carlsberg. If Carlsberg did Sunday League teams.
I don't remember this.
Oh, mate. So you haven't seen it?
I don't think I have, no.
Mate, this is a belter.
Right.
Sit back and enjoy. Peter Beardsley on the bike. Phenomenal.
Is it just full of Peters, this?
Yeah,
Peter Reid?
There's Walker. You got Chris Waddle waiting for the bus. Get in the bus. All the lads are in the back. It's the Sunday League team.
Come on, Chris, we're late, man.
Jack Charlton driving. Yeah, Steve Howe, is it? Oh no, Terry Butcher. Alan Ball. Peter Reid.
So they're all in the back of the van.
Peter Shaw. Peter Beardsley's on the bike. This is our Sunday League team. This is what happens, though, isn't it? Brian Robson. And then Sir Bobby gives a little speech now.
Okay, lads, everybody listen up. Let's have your attention, please, thanks. I want you to get stuck in right from the off. Bobby, Alan, Chrissy, don't be afraid to pull the trigger, eh? Everybody's got to mark, track and tackle. Particularly you, Bobby, particularly you, Jackie. Stuart, get...
Stuart Pearce's best.
Stuart Pearce's phone's gone. But you know they've genuinely had a laugh filming this.
Right, I've said my bit. It's now your turn, eh? So let's stick together. Let's get out and fight. Let's get hold of the ball and play good football. Go on, let's go to win. Good luck.
What a legend Bobby Robson is.
This is mad. So
now they actually go and play this. They actually play a match against another Sunday League team. Wait till you see the end of this ad as well, right? Well, Alan Ball, they still look like they can play, right?
Who's the ref? Is the ref Ricky Tomlinson?
Don't think so. Look, who's that? Peter Beardsley. What a player he was, by the way. Chrissy Waddle with the back heel. Oh, finish.
This thing, it doesn't look like they're doing all clever camera work or anything. It's actual. It's an actual game of football.
Proper game. Look, Jack Charlton going through.
The shirt pull.
We must shirt.
Can I have your name, please?
John.
No more, please.
John.
Brilliant, isn't it? It's sad. And how long's it going for? You got to see the end. They're all in the pub after the game.
Well done. Thanks very much. You give us a good game. Well done, son. Well done. Don't phone me. I'll phone you, Jackie.
Carlsberg don't do pub teams, but if they did, they'd probably be the best pub team in the world.
How good's that ad?
That's unbelievable.
That is a classic, isn't it?
That is unbelievable. I think there's something. I think in how adverts have improved technology-wise and everything like that, there is just a bit of a kind of innocence about stripping that away with just quality players. If you're a chef, you'd say, let the ingredients sing, right? And I just think, I don't know, I think some of the adverts we're going to talk about today have ends up in our WhatsApp group largely because we find them quite funny, right? But there is a case here for trying to work out what the best football advert of all time is.
Yeah.
And that's got to be up there.
Oh, I
just
think
in
that's
terms
up
of
there.
messaging.
Yeah, I think the Sky one for me because it's so nostalgic of the the whole new ball game. I mean, that, when you see all the different kits and the actual players in the advert, for me that was just so nostalgic. But then you've got the Brazil one, where they're around the airport just doing tricks and stuff like that. And even the tune was good.
But that's the nostalgic one for me. That's the one where I always remember being younger and felt like a game changer, that advert. And there was almost a battle between the brands with these adverts as well. Were there any that you ever got approached to do that were sort of a Nike or an Adidas, or did you end up doing a street one, or was it?
Well, I was on the front cover of
Was it
of FIFA Street? Yeah. So basically, if you look at it, right, this is FIFA Street. That's the picture of me. I don't know if it's the most flattering, but listen, I remember they called me and said, we're going to put you next to Ronaldinho and Gattuso on the front of FIFA Street. And I was like, well, yeah, you can go ahead. No problem.
It was almost like it was designed in clip art. It was almost like this happened so AI could run.
Do you think? Yeah, basically.
But either way, cool that you did it. So that's annoying. So the advert for this didn't have you in real life?
No, I didn't. No, it was this.
I know you don't have many regrets, but that must be one. Doing one of those big sort of glossy football adverts.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I've done some funny ones over the course of time. No, some bad ones and some good ones. But I think none of them were cool. Do you know what I mean, really?
Pringles was the best.
Well, Pringles. Can we play it? I always remember. I think they came to me with it was Kuyt. They wanted a Dutch fella, a French player, a Spanish player, and an English player. I was the English one. We had Cesc Fabregas, we had Kuyt, and Nicolas Anelka. Mm. Do you know this? Right, this Pringles campaign. Right, it was a bit of fun, but it also I was on all the. So in England, it was my face on all the Pringles tins while the World Cup was on.
Was it?
Yeah, so I always remember. I've still got like a few of them at my house. Like,
you see, I vaguely remember this time. I think I would have been the sort of kid who I used to have one of these little mini tubs that I would take the Pringles into school. And I swear around this Pringles time, they sort of did them red and white for the England team, which would have been the time that you were.
They had, obviously, it wasn't Pringles, it was Pringles.
Pringles, yeah. Did they make it extra long for you? Or
no, but they had my body on it, like, along the can. I was quite proud of it in some ways.
You should be.
Here's the ad. Remember, Nicholas passed it to me and me volleyed it in the bin. And then I was celebrating. For some reason, I wore a checkered shirt.
That was when Hollister was a big thing, was it?
Very much so, yeah.
Now, hang on, what's happened here? Because as I remembered the Pringles, you had to kick the can. Did you just do that then?
I kicked the can at the start, and Nicolas Anelka passed it to me right at the start.
Oh, there it goes.
Look, I made a run that.
Yes.
Volleyed it straight in the bin.
How many takes was that?
Bizarrely, right, that looks like it's on a street in like Bilbao or something, right? That was in a warehouse in Park Royal.
It does. It looks like you were abroad somewhere.
Yeah. As if they flew us out there and all that.
So, did you get to choose what you were wearing for that, or was it?
I think that was when you do your work on these adverts, right? You wouldn't believe the amount of people that are there. I mean, there's trucks and all that, and I've never got a trailer, and I was sitting in a trailer thinking like as if I was Tom Cruise or something. Then I come out in a Hollister.
Do you remember? I remember when they opened a Hollister in West Quay Shopping Centre in Southampton, right? And then that Friday night, everyone out in Southampton was wearing Hollister.
One of those.
It was incredible. It was the same clobber on everyone there. It was wild.
Some strange ones over there. Abercrombie and Fitch had a strange one, didn't they? We did like the models in there.
Couldn't afford. I always remember with Hollister, they'd put a queue out the front of it to make it seem like it was really busy.
Really?
Yeah, so I remember they would always put sort of a hot person on the queue, sort of guarding the queue, and then I'd be in the queue, but it was quite a confusing situation because there was no reason for having a queue.
And so you looked inside the shop, there wasn't that many people in there?
There wasn't anyone in there. It was
Do you know, was it you that told me there was that campaign, was it Red Bull that started by putting the cans in, loads of their empty cans in festivals? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so like say you're in Glastonbury or whatever, and you go past a bin, there's like 40 cans of Red Bull in there. That was a marketing ploy. So people are going, well, what's this Red Bull? What's everyone's drinking?
I did not know that.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught short. Like, you don't want to be left behind, apparently.
See, this is good because I think we're at a point now with this podcast where obviously we're waiting for the football season to start up again. We're sort of, doing these podcasts throughout the summer. These are the sort of things that we can start thinking for a bit of a refresh come the new season. You know, as we're watching these adverts, I'm thinking to myself, is this something that we could do for the podcast? You know, what's the little marketing ploy that we could be doing? And if you're triggering any ideas in your head right now, you've got to let us know. peter.crouch@acast.com if anything goes.
You're always thinking, aren't you, head of marketing and advertising?
I have to because you blessed me with that role right at the start.
Yeah.
And I've always done well with it.
You've been brilliant at it.
I always try and push the agenda a little bit, whether people like it or not.
Yeah, you've done really well.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, well played. Should we move on? We should probably see a little bit of Michale Owen and his Dubai tourism.
Oh, yeah, you teased this at the start. It's never not the right time to play this, is it?
I just think if you're ever feeling down, you can always just have a look at this guy.
It's got special powers, and once we're airborne, you'll see just what I mean. Are you buckled up and ready? Great.
We are.
Let's go and see Dubai.
We're going to go and see Dubai now.
It may look a bit small from up here, but it is quite large. Roger Federer and Andre Agassi actually played a game of tennis on it. And Tiger Woods stood on it and hit golf balls into the ocean. I'm glad they never asked me to play football on it. Now, let's go see where I have my apartments. My favourite place, Dubai Sports City. I have thrown on the afternoon, so hold on.
But I can't wait for you to see Sam Torrance. There he is.
I think that's actually Sam Torrance down there, the ex-Ryder Cup captain. Let's just drop down a bit to check. Sorry about that, folks. Just a bit too low. The shatterproof glass came in handy. I don't think Sam's going to be too pleased with getting on the way of his drive. Good thing he has that great Scottish sense of humour.
Can you, as a fellow professional and teammate, explain how the hell this has happened? Like, what? Well, yeah, okay. What?
So, yeah, I mean, there's lots to go out there, but like, there is a 10-minute version of that, by the way. That we condensed that to what, a minute, but there's a 10-minute. You know, you can't. I mean, I would advise to go and watch it because, listen, I've done things that I've regretted. You know what I mean? Like someone's offered you a few quid and you know you've done it, whatever, and you probably regret it. You want it to be the best it can be. But I just don't know if that came out. It ended up being fantastic, but I enjoyed every moment of that. And how you felt?
Totally the same. I would love to see a follow-up. I mean, this is the crazy thing. Like, I would love him to do another one or do other countries.
Yeah.
You know, Attenborough had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Just do like we go and see a bit more of almost like a new age Judith Chalmers.
Yeah,
Just show us where to go.
Well, he calls it a chopper at the start as well, doesn't he? Before pressing the buttons on and off.
When the afterburners go, that's
something, isn't it? But wouldn't it be great if we could send Michale Owen to different countries and he does this with just, I don't know, wonders of the world and stuff like that. Definitely one to throw his way.
Oh, without doubt.
Do you ever talk to him about it?
I think that's been mentioned. You know what I mean? I don't think he's not very concerned.
I suppose also post football, you can do these adverts, but then you see, he's not going to be able to shift into acting too much after that, is he?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tricky, but
Well,
great
you say
advert,
he's a
great
Ballon
advert.
d'Or winner. He's a world class footballer.
Yeah.
He's not a world class actor. Sometimes it doesn't always work, does it?
No, I think you're right.
That one did, but on the same vein, I want to go into Casella Diablo, if that's okay. The Manchester United advert.
Right.
It's a similar vein, but for me, some of the best work. This Giggs is actually not bad. I would suggest. Rooney for me needs work.
Hey, Sid. Have you heard the rumour? What rumour, George?
Guys, we have a problem. The boss said that a new devil is arriving. Is it well known?
Famous throughout the world.
And what did they say about him? They say he is a legend.
Just don't know what you make of that, mate.
It's amazing because what they've done is, as Rooney is delivering those lines, they've lit him in such a way and gone really close, as if, you know, when you watch The Godfather and it's just a very intense, it's filmed in an intense way. It's almost quite arty how it's shot.
Yeah, it's like this. What he's about to deliver now is going to live on for generations.
It's a film standard, you know, like Hollywood budget.
Yeah, with the actors are, you know, but like that's it. That's just what I find so strange about, you know, footballers aren't actors, are they?
No, but I think what we're stumbling upon here is the key formula is where brands got loads and loads and loads and loads of money, so they put it all into their kind of special effects, the camera shots, everything's done really, really proper. But they're having to use footballers who have probably only got, like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's like half an hour
them.
they've been given. But this is what I was finding, because I've done these myself, and you know, the team that comes are a team that, like, they're filmmakers. You know what I mean? And they're dealing with DiCaprio or, you know, Pacino. Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden they've been given, like, there you go, there's Martin Keown, right?
Rooney.
And and then they go like, or, you know, any footballer, you know, me. And then they're given a, you know, then they realise, they know within 10 seconds of the first take, they're like, this is going to be a long day, guys. And you can see them scrambling around going, fuck, everything's right. The script, the lighting, the people working behind the scenes, the cameraman, the editor, everything is top notch. And then they've got someone who's crap in front of the camera.
Like world-class footballers.
Yeah, like world class, absolutely world class. But then they've been given that, and you know, you can't deliver the line, you can't remember the line, you don't know where to stand, you look like you're reading.
But then what I can't work out with this wine advert, for example, is have they done this to be funny, or do they expect footballers to be better actors than they are?
I think they expect more from the player. But what's happened is they've sponsored Manchester United, and they've said we need to get the Man United players to do something for us for all this investment. So they've gone, right, who wants to do it? We want Giggs, Evra and Rooney.
So should this change how the recruitment of football clubs is done, based on the idea that commercially your club will be more viable if you employ actors who can at least act a little bit?
Yeah. But then, you know,
and then what you get?
Do you lose something on the pitch?
You're getting...
Yeah.
It's the balance, isn't it, between them both?
Yeah, all good stuff though. This leads me nicely on to Vardy in Thailand. If you've not seen this, again, a real treat, I think.
Just whilst we're firing up the Vardy one, do you think, though, that brands who get footballers involved know that we're all going to talk about it in this way? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, potentially there are, and I think, you know, there's definitely things are evolving. I think everything looks better, worse, like with time, doesn't it? You know, like some of the adverts back in the day, like, so what can they compare to now? Like, I mean, some of them are Hollywood blockbusters now. You look at a Jude Bellingham Adidas advert, for instance, is not going to be cringe.
No, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking, I mean, that was, the last one was fucking outrageous. You know, like when Lamine Yamal does his next advert, you know that's going to be spectacular. They're not going to allow it not to be. But just there's the odd one that slips through the net sometimes. And
It's true.
do you know what I mean? And I think, you know, for all intents and purposes, Jamie Vardy probably didn't know that this would air in England. He probably thought it might.
That's the other thing, I guess. Some things are acceptable if they are just around the world. Do you know what I mean? You don't expect that they'll go back to England. Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and I think I remember going to Japan and seeing so many adverts of like Hollywood film stars that you would never see in England. Obviously, they are kind of cashing in over in Japan, and maybe they'll do an advert that they wouldn't do in Hollywood.
Got you.
Do you know what I mean? And I think. This is case in point, really, with Jamie Vardy, and you're in for a treat. I mean, he is speaking Thai. You have seen this one, haven't you?
I think so.
I'm not sure. It's spectacular. Here he is at the stadium.
What's going on? Not much. Just waiting for the football to get back to normal. How about you?
Yeah, me too. Really missing you guys. I really do have a break though.
So when are you coming to see me?
Hopefully soon. There's some work I've got to do first. So Eddie.
Thailand smiles with you.
Looks lovely, Thailand, I have to say.
Right, so I didn't remember that one. See, what I thought was going to happen, so it's Jamie Vardy stood on the pitch and he's talking to the screen. Someone's managed to FaceTime the screen.
Someone's FaceTimed him from Thailand.
From Thailand, saying he misses him. Jamie Vardy's doing keepy ups on the pitch. So what I thought was going to happen there is he was going to get sort of teleported.
Oh, yeah, like David Copperfield.
To Thailand, and then he will be there with his friend on the beach, sat next to him, kind of thing. Sadly, not the case.
No, well, he said somebody, and that was it.
Nailed his lines there.
Yeah. Unbelievable. But, again...
So with something like that, right? So is that the kind of thing that you're having to do because it's the club sponsors? So do you get paid extra for that?
Yeah, you get paid extra for that. Yeah, but they do sponsor, and I think it's part and parcel of the things. It's kind of a requirement to do.
Yeah. And then generally speaking, did you find that it was the kind of star players at the club that were getting all the adverts?
Yeah.
And actually, from an ego point of view, did you almost want to be doing some of them just for the sake of being seen to be the guy at the club?
You know what? The football changed forever. Like David Beckham kind of transcended these kinds of things with endorsements, and I remember being involved with England, and I think the players before kind of Becks was the captain compared to what it was like after. The sponsors obviously came in. It was the England national team was incredibly more marketable, and I think Becks kind of fought for the players to get more of that, because I think the FA basically took it all, and then you were kind of required to do appearances as part of you having the privilege of playing for England. And I think when Becks came in, I think he realised the importance or the value of the players in that role. I think, and it was very quickly kind of a new system was aligned to when we do appearances, we get paid for them, and. I was kind of a beneficiary of that. I remember National Express and Nationwide, quite a few of the sponsors.
You did Nationwide guy, were you?
Yeah. So that was it was Green Flag back in the day. You remember all the England
They were a
sponsors?
great one. Green Flag was a great one.
Yeah, and it was...
I found myself trying to buy a load of Green Flag kit recently.
That's what I mean. Like they associate themselves with the England team, whatever. As Vauxhall has been recently as well, haven't they? And... and so I remember once I had an appearance for National Express, and the bus station was in Twickenham, and my mate lived round the corner, so I met him for a beer, and I went and did this thing at National Express, and we got paid for it. I had to sign a bus and take a picture, and that was it, really.
Sign a bus?
Yeah,
of course he did.
Yeah, and that was it. And like little things like that, just I think it was Becks that kind of changed that. That would have been a requirement, and then it became an appearance.
But I also just mean from let's say you're playing for a football club and you're noticing certain players are getting more of these brand deals. They're almost reinforcing themselves then as the face of this club, right? Because they're the ones that are seen in the adverts. Even when you look at Wayne Rooney there and the other United players in that advert, for the amount that advert would then get played and shown around the world, it's good for their own business, isn't it? To be seen to be, if they're going to pick 3 or 4 players from United, you want to be one of those 3 or 4 players, surely. Because
Well, yeah, I mean, they're going to put some money behind that, right? And that's going to go global. That'll be around the world. And then, I suppose if you haven't watched Man United play loads, but you've seen that advert loads, you would associate Man United to Evra Rooney and Giggs.
But then I do wonder if the reverse is true in that when you were playing, you were seeing these other players getting all the adverts. Was there ever a kind of resentment's the wrong word, but a kind of, I don't know, a bit of feelings towards the idea that a club is getting sort of concentrated down into 3 or 4 players that are constantly getting thrown out the front? Or was that just always the case with every team?
I think that's like, I think we discussed this before when you talk about the photo, the club photo, the team photo at the start of the year, and then they have like in the club shop, like I'll drive past the club shop, and there'll be like another number 9 wearing a shirt, and I'll be like, why is he like? Hold on a minute, that was me last year. And they've got a shiny new signing in the front of the shop trying to entice people to buy a shirt. And it's like, am I not enough?
Yeah. I used to be enough.
I used to be enough, yeah. Am I not enough for you? Maybe I just don't satisfy the fans anymore. Listen, let's be honest, there's so many great adverts as well, like some of the Predator adverts, the Adidas, the Nike ones, phenomenal. Usually, some crackers. But I don't know, have you come across Cristiano Ronaldo doing the Singapore Shopee advert?
No, I know you were adamant that we saw this one today.
I just think it's important when you're getting across the range of footballers' adverts that you do see Cristiano in the Shopee advert.
I mean, what is Shopee? I'm not
I think it's kind of an online shop in Singapore.
Right.
Yeah, please proceed. Here he is taking a free kick. Trademark. Oh. And obviously in the crowd there.
What the hell was that? So there's a lot going on there.
You can dissect it. I mean, I've seen it multiple times. But
is that really him, do you think? Or is that a computer-generated Ronaldo?
I just
that
don't
can't
know.
have been human.
I don't know.
I mean, what the hell was that? Honestly, I feel like my brain's exploding.
I don't know. I don't know what you think of Shopee.
I don't know what it sold me just then, but
yeah.
He looked happy. He did look happy.
He looked happy with it. Yeah.
I think with those ones, we're in interesting territory because I'm not claiming this is the case with this particular brand, but he didn't look real there. And we're now in a world where footballers AI could have your voice, could have your image rights, you can sell them all.
Did you see that thing with Burger King when they sponsored Stevenage?
Incredible.
I mean, what an advertising ploy that was. Obviously, just to get, and they got people that play the game to play the game and put it out on TikTok and stuff like that.
Well, they incentivized people. Basically, said
by Messi, Ronaldo in one team.
Score goals as Stevenage to win free Burger King, which is amazing, right? So what they did is they got involved with Stevenage on the game because it was cheaper than most of the other teams there. So I assume this was EAFC or FIFA or whatever it was. And sorry if I'm misrepresenting this, but Burger King sponsored the team on the game. And then what genius move, getting people to just score goals with.
Yeah, look, there's Messi and Mbappe, Pogba. Instead of paying them, to have Burger King on their chest, they've just put it on them in the game.
It's one of the best sports marketing ideas in ages, right? because for all intents and purposes, you've got Burger King now written on
Mbappe, Ronaldo, Messi, and Neymar. I mean, imagine how much that's going to cost for them to actually try and get that shirt on them.
Yeah. But it is an interesting world we're going to now live in, right? And I guess different to when you were playing as well. And I guess most massive footballers have deals around their image that are in a totally different bracket to what perhaps you experienced.
Yeah. I mean, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, doesn't it? And footballers now are, I suppose, a brand. A very lucrative brand, and they always were. But I mean, Beckham took it to the next level, didn't he? From the way we were as players before that to kind of what he did and what he's achieved since then. There's good and bad to it, isn't there? You know, it's good and bad.
Should we do a couple of messages?
Let's do some messages. Okay, hello, Crouchy from Bahrain, Bonfire Toffee and Barbecue Scene.
Bonfire Toffee.
No idea. Regards to your families. I'd love to get your take on a question that's been going around our friendship group and which has caused some debate. Of the 6 competitions, Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, Premier League, FA Cup and League Cup, can you rank them in order with 1 being the best to win, 6 least good? That is a massive question, by the way. What a question that is! I need about an hour for that. Should we go with his? Right, he's gone with Premier League, Champions League, Europa, FA Cup, League Cup, Conference League. Right, he says my reasoning is that to win the Premier League you need to be the most consistent all season. However, I really struggled to choose between the Europa and the FA Cup. I think the League Cup is harder to win than the Conference. However, I'm a Spurs fan, so choosing the Europa over the FA Cup is a recent bias.
That was going to be my first point, is I think at the very least you have to swap FA Cup and Europa around. I think there's a debate about more. In fact, whilst we're doing this, maybe we type this into chat, whatever it is, to see what AI is saying is the best out of these.
Well, you do that.
And we'll debate it.
Yeah, have you got what are you going to go with?
My thinking is, and I think this is all subjective, because I think, let's say you've won the Premier League 4 times but haven't won the Champions League, you're going to want to win the Champions League more than the Premier League. Mm-hmm. It holds more value for your club. Working on the assumption you've never won any of these, you then have to rank them, I think.
Yeah.
And that's where all fans of football can come get involved. Personally, I don't think anyone's going to agree with mine. I would go, if I was a footballer, just based on my lived experience of what I would like to win, and it probably is part of the reason I'm not a professional footballer for what you're about to hear, I would go Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, in that order.
This is your personal preference of what you'd like to win.
Yeah, this isn't me thinking objectively about what a mainstream group of people or a group of football fans. I just mean on a very personal level. The FA Cup for me is held in the highest of regards. So I would go Premier League first because, you know, the reasons that were said in this email. I'd then go FA Cup because the idea of doing the buses there and the FA Cup day, and just as I remember it, Wembley Way and all of it, the suits, everything, and then I would go Champions League.
I think this is such a good question, but I would go Champions League first,
above the Premier League.
Above the Premier League, yeah. I'm going to go Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, Europa, League Cup, Conference League. Oh, that's what ChatGPT said.
Is it?
Do you know what? I think. Listen, I just think Champions League is different, in my opinion. I rank a club on how big they are, how many Champions Leagues they've got. That's unfortunately. You need league titles as well. But for instance, if Man United had 25 league titles and Liverpool had 15, but Liverpool had the 6 Champions Leagues and Man United have 2. Liverpool are a bigger side for me. They're a bigger club.
You go to your dad, right, and say, you know, I've been granted a wish from a genie. I can win one of these things. Which one would you like me to win?
Champions League all day.
He goes Champions League.
No, my dad?
Yeah. He'll go Premier League.
Well, no, my dad's from an FA Cup era, which I am as well. I absolutely love the FA Cup. my dad in 1970 would obviously say the FA Cup. The FA Cup was the biggest trophy to win. It was bigger than the league. The cup.
You reckon?
Yeah, the cup in the 70s and 80s, I would have said was bigger than the league.
Wow.
Well,
so he'd go
right up there.
Okay. Yeah.
And
okay.
I'm not diminishing the FA Cup now. I absolutely love it, and I'm sitting here as a FA Cup winner. Like, I'm the most proudest moment of my life. And my kids were around in that scenario as well. But a Champions League winner just elevates you to. If I'm sitting here a Champions League winner, I think it's different to sitting here a Premier League winner. I think you look at me different.
I would look at you different. I would talk to you different.
Yeah, like if I'm a Champions League winner,
I think the emails in would be different and everything.
Yeah, I think a Premier League winner. Yeah, there's. I just think a Champions League winner elevates you. It's so hard to win.
No,
the Premier League.
I do agree with you, but that's not necessarily the. What was the actual question? The best to win. That's what they're saying. What is the best to win?
Well, it's your personal preference, isn't it? I would have Champions League. I would have Premier League, FA Cup, because that's important to me.
You are, right.
And I'm biased because I'm English. And then the Europa League would come after that. And I would have the League Cup, which is obviously an incredible achievement as well. But I think that's above the Conference League for me. Conference League's hasn't got the history of the League Cup.
Unless we're not seeing something here. If you're literally going the best to win, to be the best, you have to probably put Champions League first. You're right. FA Cup, you can battle your way through. There can be freakish results. Underdog stories. That's what makes that trophy so special. But being the best to win, I guess you're right. It would have to be Champions League.
I think the fairest competition is the Premier League. Like you are the best. There's no doubt you're the best team in the league. You're the best team in that competition. I think there's been Champions Leagues where they haven't been the best team in the competition. Like I would say, even the Liverpool Istanbul final, I don't think Liverpool were the best team in that Champions League that year. Quite a few of the teams that have won it weren't the best team.
No.
Whereas in the Premier League, there's no doubt across 38 games, that team is the best in the league. No doubt.
Okay. So it looks like the main thing we're saying here is you've got to switch Europa and FA Cup round, but they are a Spurs fan, so we understand.
Okay, moving on. Hi, Crouchy, Notorious, and the Womble. It's Chris, I don't know what to
say. I keep getting apologies every time with this. Well, no, it's fine. I guess because I always like to think that there are new people who listen to this podcast every week, and then they go, what's with the Womble thing? And then because of how algorithms work and stuff like that, a load of stuff about my bollocks turns up on their feed. And
then they might
learn
have
something and they go check themselves. And that's basically what we want to do on this podcast. So if calling me the Womble of Watford works, then go for it.
Then you're happy with that. Okay. Well, that's that shows what a big person you are. Pets, check your balls.
Absolutely.
Regards to your families, I have a beer-related question. What is your favourite beer? I don't mean brand, I mean post-work beer. Train beer with the boys. The airport beer at 7 a.m. before holiday, etc. Thanks, lads. Love the pod. Keep up the work. Chris, glad your testes are now better and your message is important, so good on you. There you go.
Cheers, mate.
That's from Rob. Love Rob. You got a beer?
So there's certain beers which are just elite beers, aren't they? So the first one on a Friday, just getting into a beer garden and it's nice and sunny. That's a scenario. The first one you crack open on a train on an away day.
They're different beers, aren't they?
They're different. You would drink different beers for all these scenarios.
Yeah.
You are right.
Christmas in front of the fire. That's a totally different beer to the train.
It's mulled.
Do you know what I mean? Like that. It's totally different.
All right. Give us, just because it's putting us all in a good mood. What's another good time to have a beer? I'm saying first airport beer. You've cleared security. You've got into the little Weatherspoons in there and cranked. Well, you're not cranking anything in there. They're pouring you a nice draft. I saw a Corona in there last time I was in. Draft Corona, which I thought was a wild.
Corona for me that's a kind of beach vibe.
It is, isn't it?
It is. Like a Corona on a beach, you don't do much better than that.
Okay, give me another beer situation. Where's another?
Well, let's do the train then. Let's do the train. You're on the way up to Newcastle to watch Watford in a semi-final.
Yeah.
Of the quarter-final of the FA Cup.
Oh, I love this. You're on a table. You've got table seats.
There's 4 of your best mates.
You're buzzing because it's LNER and it's rammed.
Oh, you got 3 hours, but you've got a table.
Okay, so what's the better beer?
You've just been to upper crust.
Never, by the way, on no podcast ever has more brands been mentioned. We've set a world record.
You just had your upper crust. You got your cheese and ham, you got it heated. Yeah. You've halved it. Yeah. Where are you going with your beer selection? You've got straight to the fridge, you've got cold ones.
Well, you've got table seats.
They're all cold.
You've stopped at the whistle stop. Yeah. You've got table seats. 2 and 2. You've even got the one that's facing the right way. You've sat yourself down.
Yeah.
And the bag...
Right, you're backing onto the toilet as well. Yeah. So you ain't got far to go.
You haven't got far to go. It's all perfect.
You've nailed it.
You've nailed it. So out the carrier bag comes beers. 3 mates with you. Yeah, that's a special beer, isn't it? When you pull that.
They're all ice cold. What are they?
They are Red Stripes. 4 Red Stripes. Or do you do it town dependent? Do you go, no, you're not having it? You're not having that? Is that...
For me, it's a Nelson all day. It's not. I've let you down. It has to be.
I've let you down with the red.
Well, I don't know. I think I get your Red Stripe scenario, but for me, it was all I was thinking. And I was thinking, I don't even want the long Stellas because I feel like they go warm by the end. They do. I want a regular sized can Stella.
You're right. I shot my wad too early there. So the Red Stripe is for bank holidays, I feel, and a barbecue
scenario. It's a barbecue scenario, 100%.
Cruise campos don't suit the trip that you're describing.
I don't think so. You might get bullied for that on the way up.
What's a better beer? The first can on the train, or your same scenario? We're going to Newcastle, but this time we're going on a stag do, right? And all of you are having to assemble at the bar at Euston. No, it'd be King's Cross this one, wouldn't it, for Newcastle? So you're all having to assemble at the bar at King's Cross. So you're all arriving in dribs and drabs, but you turn up at the bar at the station and there's someone waiting for you. They're on the stag do and you have that first pint there. Is that a better beer than the first can on the train?
I would say so. Yeah, I'm a fan of draft. So
yeah, same.
I think. I mean, the cans they're a means to an end, aren't they? Let's be honest. You're just trying to stay topped up for your adventure.
You're a genius. Yeah. Why is there no draft beer on trains?
Yeah.
Think about it. It just works all round that. It
seems to work, doesn't it? Yeah, it seems to work. I mean, listen, we could talk about this all day. Just quickly, the fire. At Christmas time, Christmas Eve, you just walk in, all your pals have gone, hey, I'm at the bar. What are you having? What are you having?
If I'm honest, I'm going to draw heat for this. I'm probably having an ale.
Are you really? An ale?
I have.
A Gareth? Are you? Straight for a Gareth Bale?
Yeah.
Fair play. I don't know.
I think so, mate.
I'm a Guinness, mate, there.
Rebellion IPA, I reckon. Just a nice, pleasant 4.1, 4.2.
Oh, the thought of having an ice cold Guinness. I'm going to curl up by the fire in one of these chairs, little Chesterfield number. And I'm just going to chat to my pal about have you had a good year?
Yeah.
Going to sink a load of Guinness while I'm doing it.
How long have we been going? Sorry, this question. I've completely forgotten.
I've got a barbecue to get to. My little girl's around. She's waiting for me to go. There was one scenario there where it was a Moretti, and I didn't know which one it was. Oh. It was what was one of the first scenarios we had there? Beer garden, I think it might have been.
Moretti, sturdy.
Beer garden Moretti.
I'll tell you why, sturdy glass. A hard one to knock over off balance and the little gaps in between the table.
Yeah.
I just think Moretti have nailed that.
I think they've got it as well.
And just as a quick point of order, just before we wrap this up, I can't be dealing with, until they change the glasses, I can't go down the Hells route.
No.
I can't deal with that chode of a glass.
I haven't
got big enough hands to wrap around it.
I know what you mean.
It's like a fat shot.
Yeah. That shot. And listen, I'm up for new stuff all the time. I'm constantly trying new stuff, but they're kind of like the staples for me, I think. And you can never knock a Peroni. It does its job all the time, wherever you are. And a Corona in the sun is phenomenal.
You ever go cider?
Yeah, well, I do. Yeah, I quite like an Aspal sometimes. I think a cider's a good second day drink. Anyway, I've got to go, lads. My little girl's waiting for me. All right, well, we'll catch you soon. See you soon, guys.